guys, welcome to our first podcast, our first episode of Formation Alpha. I guess we should start off with introductions.
Yeah, we'll start, what do you call it? Deadline right here, Bryan.
All right. I'm Bryan Castellanos. I am the younger brother, but not the youngest member. I will be in charge of the puns. They will not be funny, and you probably won't laugh, but that will not stop me.
All right, cool. I am Brandon Castellanos. Well, I am his older brother, and pretty much I am in charge of all the tech stuff, and I guess bringing you guys whatever we talk about, latest news, whether it be, game stuff, movies, comics, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right, and I am Jenny Galindo. I am Jerry's older sister, and I'll be the host, mediator, making sure, we don't start fighting and jumping onto the table, attacking each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jerry, so I'm your youngest brother. Or I'm the youngest member, actually. I'm only, the youngest.
You should say ages too, right?
Yeah.
So, how old are you?
18.
Yeah, 18, I'm 25.
24.
Old enough. Nah, I'm 22.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize we're all like different ages. That's kind of cool.
Okay. All right, first topic. What were we going to cover?
So, I guess I should do a little overview of what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So we're going to touch on RTX, because us three went to RTX 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then E3, because Jerry went to E3. When was E3?
It was June 13th.
June 13th. And then we're going to touch up on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because we saw that when we were at RTX.
Wonder Woman.
I mean, we could talk about Wonder Woman too, if we have time. So, actually, so...
I think I think you should start off RTX, because you actually had the VIP pass. So I mean, you got you were a day there earlier than we were.
Okay, so for the most part, I got the VIP pass because usually the past couple of RTXs I've gone, because this was my third one, VIP looks so grandeur and luxurious because you cut lines, and keep in mind, RTX has been growing by the year. And so when I went in 2015, there was about 30,000 people. Whereas this year, I believe there was about 65,000 people. And they had 1,400 VIPs, which could have been handled a lot better. Being VIP, you pay a lot more than, a regular weekend pass. You pay about 600% more. And it costs a pretty penny. And I will say, honestly, the only thing worth it was that I was able to be in an immersion, which was really great. I can't disclose any information on that till a later date, till they actually put up the episode. But it was really fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was taken the day prior to RTX. So going to RTX, day one, as a VIP, you're said to have access to the exhibit hall an hour early. The VIP line was so long that by the time the exhibit hall opened to VIPs, the line was just so grandiose that it literally took almost an hour, or it would have taken an hour. And so I just had to go to a different panel, because then I could actually use my VIP perks to get in. Whereas in the exhibit hall, I couldn't use the extra hour because there was so many people. That they added metal detectors, and the metal detectors were god awful. It was two for the VIP line. Now, 1,400 VIPs at 2 people a line, and that's because not even every single VIP was lined up. VIPs were waiting to line up, and by the time 11:45 rolled around, I'm just like, this isn't worth it. I'm not going to get in the next 15 minutes, and so I just went to another panel, and I mean, it was fun just seeing a bunch of the stuff, and it wasn't a great experience being VIP, but it was also one of the coordinators' first year directing RTX. And so I don't want to put too much pressure on that, and hopefully next year they make it better. And I do plan on going next year, because it is a 15-year anniversary. And so with that being said, I know they're going to plan something grandiose, and hopefully they fix all the situations they had this year. They did give out a survey. I don't know if you guys submitted yours or saw it.
No.
I saw it, but I haven't submitted yet. I wanted to.
I didn't even.
So basically, that just gives them feedback on what went wrong, and I basically listed my complaints, and so I know a few other people did too. So hopefully next year's better. I hope they don't do as many VIPs. And, even if I don't get one, it just kind of takes away from the experience being VIP if you don't get the same perks that you would get in the prior years.
Yeah. I'll say we went Saturday, Sunday, so we didn't even get to go all 3 days.
So we had the weekend pass.
Yeah.
We just went Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, the only downside I think to that was the whole autograph code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, the autograph codes were just faulty, and that was through front gate, and I just hope that they manage it better. And I understand, I even told them, like, being VIP, yeah, it's great, but if you have to cap it at, like, somewhere between 500 to 750, and I don't get a code, that's fine, because it doesn't take away from the VIP experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a weekend pass, even if you have to cap the weekenders, I know RTX or Rooster Teeth is a growing company, but having so many people and then all these problems occurring, it really doesn't help the convention.
No.
A lot of people have a bunch of gripes. Some people get in a bad mood. The convention becomes less enjoyable, and the experience is less enjoyable due to that. And so if they have to set a cap, I would recommend that they do set a cap. And that way the people that can go, and their experience isn't deterred by the lack of codes, the fact that yours took about a week to actually work, and by then all the other autograph sessions were gone.
Yeah.
So it was just worthless at that point.
Yeah.
So I think that they should set caps for
definitely.
Set a limit.
And just to clarify, not every convention is this hectic. Me and Bryan actually went to the Dallas Fan Expo, where the VIP was completely worth it.
Oh yeah.
And they had, RTX was what, like 1,500 people?
1,400 VIPs.
VIPs, yeah, and then opposed to the Dallas Fan Expo was 500, and we had no problem whatsoever.
So I think, this is my first time going to RTX, and I know you guys have like previous experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So it being my first time, besides the autograph codes not working, which sucked because we couldn't meet anybody really, like all we saw were people from panels and stuff. I feel like I still had a lot of fun. Like there was a lot of cool booths. We got to meet the creators of How It Should Have Ended, and then the creators from Cyanide and Happiness were there. And then I'm a huge Halo fan, so there was a lot of like Halo community love, and I thought that was really cool. I took a lot of cool pictures. So I wouldn't knock it completely, but yeah, the whole VIP thing was messed. Like they should have handled that better. And then our weekend pass, like our codes should have worked, or they should have opened up more slots for people to sign up later when they fix the codes. So
they quote unquote fix the codes, because
Yeah.
both of yours are still messed up when they fix the codes.
yeah. And I know Jerry's also a huge Rooster Teeth fan, and you kind of heard of the problems.
They were talking about it
Yeah.
on their podcasts and stuff. It just got me a little aggravated because it almost seemed like they were so out of touch what was happening the day after the RTX, like the day after the last RTX day. Like the lady that was in charge of the whole convention was like, "Oh, we're so happy that our lines were super short to get into the convention center," and then she's like, I was like, "No," and then she's like, I forgot what she said, but she said something like, "There might be a few bad like incidents that happened that really just like caused a less than like good experience for the most of our attendees, but other than that, I'm very excited about like this year's RTX. I think I did a good job." I was like, well, I don't know. The VIPs beg to differ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about that is, I wouldn't say that she did a bad job. I'd say she did a decent job. Of course, there was a lot of issues that could have been handled better, and the VIP thing, it really did suck. A lot of VIPs were very upset. Some had more pleasurable experiences, but being VIP, you're granted into panels. You have select sections for VIPs, because you pay X amount of money, and it sucks that being VIP, I still had to show up to panels. At the same time, I would have had to show up if I was a regular weekend attendee. Like I paid so much money to avoid this particular situation, and yet I'm still in this situation. I will, however, not give or take away the metal detectors portion, because that was of no fault of their own. Like even the people at RTX. Like the
Yeah.
people running it were upset with the metal detectors, but it was I believe it was City of Austin's ordinance because you know what happened with Jason David Frank and all that other stuff. So it was just a safety precaution. So I understand that it's through no fault of their own. So that part, I will take off.
Yeah.
How do I say, the person running it? I will take that off their shoulders.
Yeah.
But other than that, some of the other experiences could have been handled better. And I mean, it is their first year running it, so I will not bash them too much. It is a learning experience, and so I'm hoping next year they do make it better.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, this is my second RTX. I will say I like the first one more. I feel like they had more to offer on the was it the exhibit hall?
Yeah.
But I will say that even at the Dallas Fan Expo, I didn't go to any of the panels.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of vital information you can learn from those. I think there was one we learned about like podcasting, how to set it up.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, some of the like the sets they do.
Yeah.
And there's just different genres they have. I think one's like how to start a gaming company. Some of them are really chock full of information. Others are kind of just a snooze.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I completely missed that at the Dallas Expo, and I will say that's something I did pick up on this one. As far as the exhibit hall, I think 2015 was a lot better.
I will say 2015 I felt was a lot better. This one just kind of felt really congested, and although a lot of the vendors were really nice and you got to meet a few people like Cyanide and Happiness and a bunch of stuff like that, I will say I felt like the prior RTX 2015 was also my favorite year due to the fact that I had a bunch of people with me. It was you, Kyle, Adrian. We were a group of like 8 people. And so waiting in line was no issue. Hanging out like in the exhibit hall, doing this and that, it was fun. And then another thing too was we got that concert in 2015. We got to see
that was
Bare
awesome.
Naked Ladies and Video Game Orchestra. This year they had a concert for the VIP party. I have no idea who it was. The VIP party, I left like an hour in because I just didn't really like it all that much. It was cool. You got to see other VIP attendees, and I chatted, made a few friends here and there. But the minute employee of Rooster Teeth walked in, like one of Achievement Hunter walks in, as soon as he walked through the front gate, just swarmed with people, and it's just a crowd, and it's like, guys, it's a party, just kind of like do your picture and walk away. But no, they were all like, oh, they crowded him just to make sure that they got a picture. And I felt that kind of takes away from it because, I've tried to meet this person and that person, but ultimately it was just like, oh, let's all crowd these people. And then as soon as another employee walks in, crowd that person. Crowd. And I'm like, I don't really feel like this is all that great. And so I left and checked out a panel.
I don't think they're taking into account that like the community's growing and like the convention really needs to like grow with them. You know what I mean? Like the exhibit hall can't stay the same every year. Like whether they like it or not. I mean, more people are gonna go, and they just need more stuff. And you said even the 2015 one, they had like a warthog and they had like a whole bunch of stuff you could take pictures with. And they just
I
didn't
was
have
gonna say,
that.
the exhibit hall seemed a lot smaller than 2015. That's because I mean, like you said, this one apparently more people went than the 2015 one. And I felt the exhibit hall in 2015 was a lot bigger and a lot more to offer, I thought.
Well, I think that also might due to the fact that it might have been more congested. But it was a good kind of congested where you still had room to walk around. A lot of the vendor, or the places where the vendors set up were a lot bigger. And so they had more booths and more room to work with. Whereas these, it was kind of like a bunch of smaller vendors selling miscellaneous things. So the part with the Warthog, that was showing all the Rooster Teeth. It showed the Rooster Teeth podcast set, which was awesome. It showed the Warthog. You got to see the Laser Teams, some stuff from Laser Team. You got to play Ruby Grim Eclipse in that area, and a lot of the areas had to be capsized. So like one of the areas in the 2015 Expo Hall was a big area dedicated to the arcade games, and it was like 16 arcade games, and then back to back with more stuff in the middle. Whereas this one, it was kind of like a small section, just kind of like an oval shape, and it was just like, okay, this is it. It kind of took away from the whole retro idea. Screw Attack had the arcade in the JW Marriott. They didn't have that this year. The autograph sessions were in the expo hall this time, so the lines were kind of handled better. But again, it is this person's first year. I don't want to mention names, even though most people who watch this will probably know.
Mm-hmm.
But it is their first year running it, and they did run it by themselves. So, it's just like I said, it's a learning experience, and so next year I'm hoping that they can do a better job.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for them to, I guess, put them in charge now, because Rooster Teeth is only going to get bigger, and their convention's only going to get bigger.
Yeah,
so
they just started doing 3 conventions this year.
yeah.
The third one's in October in London, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's in the UK. So next February, I believe, is RTX Sydney, and then I think it was said that RTX Austin was going to be in August, and so later in the year they still got to do the UK RTX, and so they're growing, but they also need to calm down a bit and fix
their
these little
problems
things.
before they move forward. Yeah.
Fix what they have before they think about adding on.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, cool. So let's move on to E3.
My favorite.
Yeah. So Jerry,
hate you
tell us
so
a little
much.
bit more. We're so jealous of you that you
Yes,
got to
very.
go.
Yeah, as you should be. So as someone that's been to E3 in the past, we've been last year.
Yeah. So we went last year, 2016.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went last year's E3.
Last year's was from the 14th to the 16th. This year was from the 13th to the 15th, which was a little odd because I thought I was kind of messed up with the dates because it was always the 14th to the 16th every year, and then this year was 13th to the 15th. So I was a little confused when we landed. I was like, "Did we get there early?
Yeah.
Too early?" But I was like, "No, that's pretty much what it is." But Nintendo blew it out of the water this year. I'm so happy for them. Last year they only had Breath of the Wild, which huge understatement because it was one of the best games. It actually won E3 last year.
Yeah.
We were playing it on a Wii U.
It was really good.
The demo was so early. The frame rate was horrible, but we saw the potential of what it could be.
Yeah.
And when it came out for Switch and Wii U this year, won so many awards, and it got best. It's probably gonna win Game of the Year.
That is debatable. Okay, believe me, I loved Breath of the Wild. I played it constantly. But there's been so many good games this year
Yeah.
Yeah,
that it's kind of hard to
crazy.
say.
Yeah, this year's been a good year for
So
games.
crazy.
It really has. I remember last year. I remember last year being a disappointing
Yeah.
year in
Yes,
gaming.
it was
So many No
sad.
Man's Sky. I was really excited for that, and it was
And they
just,
hyped that up so much.
Yes, it was
And
so
the
much
developer
potential.
did too, and made a lot of
He was
Yeah.
the
a
one.
lot of
really.
lies that developer made. You definitely can't run into another player.
So
Yeah, no.
last year, compare a little bit last year to this year, because last year it was exclusive to
Yeah.
developers and media, and we were only able to go because we won tickets to go.
Legion.
And then this year it was open to public. So
Yeah.
what were what were some of the
so
good things and bad things that came out of it?
Last year definitely, I was like, this is a little crowded. This convention hall is a little crowded. Oh, was I wrong? Because last year was actually really spacious and I could breathe. This year was just, just like RTX, there was a little bit of controversy with selling public passes. So E3, that's the way I got in this year because the company that I went with last year didn't take me again. So I had to buy $250 E3 pass, which I didn't think was that expensive for 3 days straight.
I'm surprised that they
Considering it's
that
E3.
that it was 200. I was expecting it to be more.
And I also went with someone that was not. He probably hasn't even went to any gaming conventions and probably never
his first one
understood.
went
Yeah,
to E3. How lucky!
I know, what a jump. So
I heard at the door they were like $1,000.
oh really?
Yeah, at the door
yeah,
they were
door
$1,000.
$1,000
Well, they
tickets.
stopped
Yeah.
selling like a week before, so I guess they were just using that way to get more.
Yeah, I remember when I had decided, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna buy a ticket. And I think I told you. By the time I checked, they were sold out. I was like,
Yeah.
even if I wanted to buy a ticket, I couldn't buy one. So
Yeah. No, our cousin was actually in LA. He lives in LA.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, he saw the convention center and he saw all the banners for games. He's like, he texts me. He's like, do you know what's going on here? I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Only
E3.
one of the biggest
Yes.
gaming
Yeah, like
conventions.
literally
Yeah.
the San Diego Comic-Con of the
Yeah.
gaming world.
Yes.
E3.
Mm.
And he's like, "Oh, how is it?" I'm like, "It's the biggest
Yes.
gaming convention.
Yeah.
Like that's a must for most
Mhm.
gamers." And he walks. He's like, "I'm gonna check it out." He walks in. He's like, "How much are the badges?" I'm like, "I honestly don't know, and so I can't really tell you. I know that they're gonna be a couple hundreds,
Yeah.
for sure. And even if you get them from scalpers, it's gonna be that much more expensive."
And even then, you're not even doing that route. Is probably you could risk getting your pass taken away, because all the times they'll ID you
Oh.
and
Boy.
make sure your name matches. It even says on the back of the badge, like if you're caught with someone else's pass, the pass and the person will be blacklisted and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah,
crazy.
that's how that's how this how big this convention is and how high
I
they
do
take
remember
themselves.
when we went,
Mhm.
they had like people lined up. You couldn't even get into the convention hall without being ID'd and making sure your ID matches.
Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
even get inside the
were
convention
so,
center.
like,
It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember them being security. I don't think
Yeah.
we went through any metal
There was
detectors
just a lot
or
of people
anything.
that want no.
But there
no
was
security.
just a lot of, so to get in the actual convention hall was one security check, and then to get into the separate
West
room,
Hall and
like,
South
there's
Hall.
two different halls.
Yes,
So to
yeah,
get into the
checked
hall, that was another check, and I was like, damn, they have some.
Mhm. And-
Well, I
Good
really,
security.
I do want to talk about the games. I know Nintendo, for you guys took it. I think they did a really good
they
job.
nailed it.
PlayStation for me, though. I am
Yeah.
excited for a lot of
And
games
because
coming out.
You just got a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I felt more obligated to ditch Xbox and go to PlayStation's booth, which I did because there was also controversy at the Xbox booth. They were kicking attendees out of their booth, especially people with neon yellow passes, which was the passes that you buy if you're not in the industry. So they were
Yeah.
kicking people out. They were like, at one point they just made a barrier of people that worked for Microsoft to just close off both openings of the booth. Meanwhile, Sony was like welcoming people and passing out keychains and letting them in, letting people in that didn't necessarily do a check-in through the app into the theaters that didn't have like enough seating.
Good guy, Sony.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, I didn't even step in. I stepped in once to the Xbox booth only to be told to get out. It was so
That's
sad.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Like me as being an Xbox fan, if
I
I
know.
went, I would have been so disappointed.
And it's so different from last year's E3 when we went to Xbox.
Yeah.
We played like most of the games there. This year it was just the lines were super long, and even if you tried to get in line, they'd be like, "Excuse me, you're past. Get out. We don't want you."
Wow.
Yeah, it was so sad. But then Sony's was like great. They didn't have much. The only playable demos they had were I think Battlefront 2, and then they also had the robotic one.
Nier Automata?
No, it's the one that the people that made Heavy Rain created. Come on, it was the Detroit Become Human.
Oh, Detroit!
Oh.
Yeah, that one looked cool.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
And they had
Yeah.
they had the best booth in my opinion. It was just like all LCD. It was just a big LCD screen with like androids like being like tossed inside, and then they actually had people dressed up in the android costumes.
Oh,
That's awesome.
And they had like
I think we saw on your Snapchat.
yeah,
it looked really
they were
cool.
so great. They would like
Yeah,
you
it's
go
really
up to
cool.
them and be like, "How are you doing today?" And then they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you're actual."
I do want to touch upon the games that stood out. So, I mean, what was the one game that stood out to you the most?
If I'm not being I mean, come on, it has to be Mario Odyssey. That was the game I played twice. That was the only game I played. I did the demo twice. I waited in line once. That was the first game I actually played
hate
too.
you so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They gave the demo had you could choose two different levels, but only one level, so that's why I played it twice. One was in the more city New York style area,
Okay.
and the second was like the desert, kind of like, I don't know, it had like some,
Oh, is that the one where he was wearing the poncho?
yes, that one.
I want that one.
So I played, the first one I did was actually the desert, and that was like the shortest line in my opinion, because this was the first day where I was interviewed before the lines opened, and then the woman felt bad because I got interviewed for like 10 minutes straight, and now like the lines were super long, so she actually took me to the front of the
yes.
line, and then once the doors opened, then I just ran to Nintendo, and then I got to play Odyssey, and it was great. I loved it so much, but I kind of liked the New York City demo better, which I didn't play that till like the third day, and the line then was like 5 hours long. So I had to wait
God.
like that long.
Crazy.
It was like one of the last games I played, but it was completely worth it. The demo was only 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was a little downside just because Breath of the Wild was like, what, 40-minute demo?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
we had 30 minutes at PAX.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are playing on Switches,
Yeah.
so it was,
Yeah.
we had to, for the few frames that we were losing on that horrible demo.
Well, we had like 30 minutes when we played Breath of the Wild, right? Last
Mhm.
year? It
Yeah,
was like
yeah, that's
30
what I was
minutes.
talking about. Yeah, it was like 10, it was like 20 minutes. I want to say it was 10 minutes just understanding the schematic, the way the game worked, and then
Yeah.
20 minutes of
Nice.
the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Odyssey was great. I played all of the games at the Nintendo booth. So Mario Rapids, which I played at the Ubisoft booth, and then Pokemon DX, and then Pokken Tournament DX, and then which was amazingly fun. It's like Smash but Pokemon.
Gosh, she looks
Yeah.
really cool.
It was, I liked it a lot, and I want to also say I played Sonic Mania for the Switch. All running on Switches, no Wii U's sadly.
Already obsolete. Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then what other games? ARMS, which I mean I played the demo for that game in the past with the test
I
punch.
hate that game.
Oh no!
I
I
love it.
am god
It was
awful
so
at
I
it.
have like the
I love it.
sleeves.
I
and
don't
have,
know
like,
how-
The pin. I'm just so.
I don't know if
excited.
it's because we played the demos, but I'm actually really good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
No,
guess we
I
played-
have to stop playing it because I cannot beat what's his name? Not Helix. The last boss.
character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Oh
like
my
on
god.
like difficulty.
I'm playing on medium
Okay.
and I suck. It makes
yeah.
me want to get my Switch and snap it over my kneecap because
Yeah.
I'm that god
Well,
awful at it.
Is that triggered?
At one point,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
He
what you're talking
triggers.
about.
No, he triggers me, and then he M Bisons me, which is even worse.
Yeah.
You know what M Bison is, right?
No.
Okay, M Bison is when you're whipping his ass. You're like, yeah, I'm finally gonna win a round. And you get him down to that much health,
Yeah.
and you pull some where it's like comboed.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
He's
It's
like,
just like power up, right?
Yeah, not only like the power up is his abilities, but no, he goes like Super Saiyan, and I'm at like half health, and he has that much, and then he'll like, oh, here's a punch, and I'm blocking, and I'm dodging, and I'm parrying, and he's like, here's a grab, and there goes 200 of your health.
Completely
and I'm
depletes
like,
your life.
I'm like, oh, that's great, and then and then he charges up his arms. And so he punches you, and now your arms are gone. And then guess what? He goes super, and then guess what? You lose another 500 health when you only have one bar, and you're just like, why? Why? Like with that much health, why?
I understand.
just want to win.
That was hard when I played it with my friend. We were both playing
Yeah.
that one boss, and we were having so much difficulty.
What do you that? I don't know. You probably remember when we were playing the demos. That one boss, and it took like 4 of us, and even
Oh,
then,
yeah,
it
you had
was
trouble.
like-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the comments and just like, get good, kids.
Probably not. No, I beat him once.
Yeah.
Bryan, I like to give it to me, and I did beat him once, but now he's tough. He's really tough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You beat the guy prior, like right before you get to the final boss.
I beat him.
Yeah.
No, I beat him like nothing. You're having trouble with him.
Yeah, no, that guy. I'm
No,
just bad at the game.
I'm talking about the last guy
I
after
know.
that. Yeah, I beat him.
I beat him one round, and then he
Yeah.
M-Bisoned me, and I got even more
No, yeah, I beat him
upset.
one round. I couldn't beat him twice.
So I can only play ARMS for so long, and then I have to stop because I rage so bad. And it's funny because I'm actually playing Dark Souls for the first time, and I am actually very calm when I'm playing Dark Souls. Like, I'll die, I'm like, all right, now I'll do this, now I'll do this. But when I play ARMS, I'm like, son of a...
I think you're like, this is not as bad as ARMS.
No!
Take
okay.
notes.
is
ARMS.
so-
ARMS is the most like triggered game.
Dude, ARMS... Okay, the top 3 games that are triggering me are ARMS, Crash,
Oh
and...
my God, you crashed. Yeah.
Well, to get all the
first one-
gems.
the first Crash.
Yes, the first Crash and the Insanity.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, I'm trying to do the time trials right now. And of course, my last one is High Road, which those of you who know will,
that
pray for me, thank God. But,
Why?
Jesus Christ, those 2 games trigger me. I'm trying to remember the
Have you
third one.
seen the there's an like an add-on or DLC stage for part 1? It's like a new map for remember the one you're outside the castle and it's raining?
Yeah.
It's like a harder version of that, dude. Yeah.
Okay, does it have a colored gem?
I have no idea. I just saw it on Facebook. But yeah,
So
apparently
we,
it's like a DLC.
we grew up playing Crash, us three.
Yeah.
And Jerry had not played Crash at
No,
all.
I'm not gonna.
So
touch
I
that.
introduced him to it, and it was funny because you started off and you're like, I don't see how this could be difficult
Come
at all.
on, Jen,
What?
you're such a whiner, a complainer. It's so easy.
So then at one point in the game,
It brings you in
did
like nice,
you-
like, hey, come in, enjoy our game. And
Yeah.
I think it was once I was getting towards the end of the first
Yeah, the first island.
I was like, okay, this is getting a little scary. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's no longer fun anymore. I'm considering like just
Yeah.
crying right
Dude,
now.
High Road made me lose 40 lives. I had 99 lives. By the time I beat it, I was somewhere between 50.
That's what I had a hard time on?
Yes, High Road is the
God.
second bridge one. Like
Yeah.
right after the easy like factory level,
Yeah.
you go to that one and you're like, I beat it. I'm like, yes, thank God. I moved to the next level and it's a color gem and it's the one outside the castle and I wanted to
yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
That took so long. It took so long. The timing. Like, you have to get all the timing. You have to get all the boxes. There's a single checkpoint in midway. I don't understand, like, why it's this difficult. Actually, no. They released why it's that difficult. So they put in the mechanics from Crash 3 into Part 1 in
I
all
heard
the games
about that.
prior.
Yeah.
That is why it's so
Yes,
difficult.
yes.
So on High Road, when you got to jump on the turtles, you have to build momentum. Whereas in the original, you always had that momentum no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I honestly I do not remember Crash Bandicoot being that hard when I was a kid. And I remember playing the High Road, and I was like, oh my god, like, does Naughty Dog want children to cry? Jesus Christ, it's so
Well,
f***ing hard.
yeah,
I'll be
there's
the
that
child.
theory or whatever
I'll
that
cry.
because the engine from the second and third games got
Yeah.
transferred to the first game,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
why
just
I made it
reconstructed it. That's why it's harder. But
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
that's
difficult.
like that's. There's also a lot of things that's just like these game reviewers are just like they don't know how to play games.
Yeah.
You know, they're just
hard.
whining the whole time.
Yeah, I think I saw one, like, he didn't even finish the game. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't review the game if you didn't finish it.
Yeah, I really dislike how some of those reviewers, they'll do like in progress reviews just because they need to get reviews out in time, and it's like, I don't know.
That's news nowadays. It's all about who's first.
Who's
It's
first, yeah.
unfortunate, but yes, that's the way it is. So. no.
Okay, so going back to E3, let's go down and say who won E3
And why?
and why.
Why?
Yes.
Okay, Brian.
I got to go with Nintendo for the fact that Xbox hasn't released any games in the past 2 years that I've been like, that's a must.
That's-
I think Recore was one game that looked interesting and appealed to me, but it wasn't a must grab.
Well, Crackdown. Well, I mean, I don't know when that's coming out.
Crackdown, okay. One,
Coming out
I've
this
never
year.
played a Crackdown game, so I can't give anything. But even then, I can't say that it's a must for me. Whereas, moving on to PlayStation, I love PlayStation. I love it a lot more than Xbox. The only reason I play Xbox is because all my friends have Xbox, and so I kind of gotta play. But if I had to pick one, it'd definitely be PlayStation. PlayStation has been doing great games. Persona 5, which I watched my buddy Adrian stream, just because I don't have it, and I'll probably get around to playing it later, was really good. But, I mean, aside from, that game already released, at E3, they showed us some more of Uncharted, which I liked. God of War, which was
Oh my God,
great.
yes.
Assassin's Creed, I didn't really care too much for. Call of Duty, I don't care too much for.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Yes.
was awesome.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
amazing, spectacular. Whatever comes
Yeah.
before Spider-Man.
Yeah,
is-
whatever.
Yeah.
That's
It
what it
was
looked.
awesome.
Yeah.
Even their conference too was like interesting.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
those people hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
it was
just,
awesome.
It was
Dude,
weird.
I was so mad they didn't have a demo of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we
they
got
didn't?
to see a like a whatever
Yeah.
private
Oh, okay.
theater of someone playing it in front
Yeah.
of us,
Yeah.
and it was
Nice.
so
It
good.
had that cool, like, Arkham feel to it.
Yes,
I like
but
that.
the reason I say that Nintendo won E3 is because although PlayStation did release these great games, I already had prior knowledge of their existence. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I knew that they were making a new God of War. I knew that they were making another Uncharted. The Spider-Man did catch me off guard, and as well as some of the other titles, but nothing like. I think Spider-Man was like the biggest pop. Like, wow, that looks
Yeah.
awesome. That's new. We didn't get anything for Last of Us, which I'm really looking forward to. Maybe at Sony's convention later on
Yeah,
down
that's
the
what I
road.
was assuming. I was a little disappointed at that.
But aside from that, the Switch released so much more that I felt that it won E3 because of that. Mario Odyssey looked fantastic. We got a JPEG of Metroid, and the JPEG doesn't really say much, but oh my god, Metroid. We haven't seen a Metroid game since what, the GameCube?
Yeah.
Is it Prime? Metroid
Yeah.
Prime? Yeah.
I think that was that one on like
two Metroid games. So one for the 3DS, Samus Returns.
I was about to
that's
say
right.
that.
And
I
then
was about to say
Metroid
that.
Prime 4, which is like the main game.
Yeah, and so there was I was about to say there was a 3DS one on the original, but ever since then, dude, I have not. We've yet to see a Metroid game, and so that really excited me to see a whole new Metroid game. That and kind of a dick move on their part, but there was a fan. I know Eric always talks about this. One of our friends that they redid an old.
I think Metroid 2. I think.
Yeah, Metroid 2, where they're on the. I think it was a Game Boy. I think, and a fan remade it. And it was available for like a couple of hours, and then Nintendo took it down. They had the guy take it down. So if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you're not gonna get it.
I've heard Nintendo's really bad with that. Like they also made a fan-made Pokemon game, and I heard that was down in like a few hours too. And apparently it was like this really cool game. Like they should have used it or something, but they took it down.
Here's why Nintendo's kind of dicks about that.
I think it's justified in a sense.
I mean, if it's fan made, I mean that's kind of good, but I kind of get both sides. The only thing the reason why I say it's a dick move is that so the guy remade it and put it up for free, mind you, and Nintendo took it down, and now Nintendo's like, hey, check it out, we remastered it. And now they're probably going to sell it. And now you're kind of like, well, that's kind of a dick move.
That guy made it, and it was free, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Be quiet, we're charging $10 for a virtual console.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of
man.
was like, that's dick.
But in Nintendo's defense, they've been doing pretty bad with sales before the Switch. So I can see why weren't they also like charging people to use their gameplay for streaming or something? Like I don't know, I heard something
They
that
do.
they were
I think they do.
that
I
they
think
were charging people.
They do charge people. I think there's only certain games that you can play. Like there's a Nintendo list, like an official list of Nintendo games that you can and can't play, I believe.
So weird.
And so I remember I was looking at 64 games, and I think there's like only like 1 or 2 Mario parties. Like you can't play all the Mario parties on there. And there's a few other games that I was like, man, that'd be really cool to record me playing. Just 1, to see me rage, and 2, to I'd actually make some pretty good commentary when I'm angry. At least I think. But the way Nintendo works is you have to give them, like, if you're a bigger or a well-known Let's Player, I guess would be the proper term, you have to give them a portion of, like, I guess the money you receive from the views or the ads or whatever for that game, for that video. And that's kind of like, I guess, I mean, Nintendo was dying. I mean, with the Wii, which was fun for like 2 hours, and I was very upset.
Yeah, I like that system, dude. I don't like it at all.
I finally beat House of the Dead on it, which is kind of like a redemption thing for me. Because, Jesus, that's so many quarters.
All right. Well, I'm trying to figure out. Let's try to get through everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys are gonna be surprised.
Xbox.
I know. I wouldn't. I'm a huge PlayStation fan.
Are we really surprised though?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a huge PlayStation fan. So after E3 ended, I was like, okay, PlayStation took it because I was blown away by Days Gone, Spider-Man,
Which Days
Uncharted.
Gone is so it's very like I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about Days Gone.
But after reevaluating, I will say Nintendo. This is why. Because the game stood out to me the most. It was only Mario Odyssey that really stood out to me the most. But that game is making me consider going out and purchasing my own Switch. So because of that, for a game, for them to make a game that makes me just, for that sole game, I want to go out and buy a system. Yeah, you got me. Yeah.
So here's the thing about that. The reason why that's such a big deal is that we already own a Switch. We co-own a Switch, but I hide it.
Dude,
and I play it mostly.
That would never work.
That we
with
both
us
paid
two.
for, but he claims it's his. And I mean, you pay, like, it went 3 ways too. He didn't even pay like half of it.
It's mine.
Did you even pay for it? Now I think about it.
I did. It's mine.
No, he paid like not even half of it, and he says his. So
it's mine.
I feel like I gotta get my own Switch.
I feel like
I kind of helped pay yours, and then I got your copy of Zelda and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So.
It's
Yeah.
done.
But yeah, no.
I'm not-
Watching the Mario Odyssey trailer, it just it took me home, took me back. I immediately thought of Mario 64, which is one of my all-time favorite games.
And
Like
Sunshine.
when I think, Sunshine is right underneath it. It was still a great game, but when I think of my childhood, I think of that game. I remember playing 64 Mario. I mean, these kids now, graphics today, they don't know what it was like back then.
Yeah.
But it was just, a defining moment in gaming because it was the first time you saw Mario in
And
3D.
open,
Yeah.
Wasn't that also somewhat like open world? Like you could.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I
everywhere?
kid you not. Like when I played it, I spent like an hour just in the courtyard,
Yeah.
running around, swimming, jumping on trees. So it was,
It was
a great
groundbreaking.
game.
It was amazing.
I mean, up until Breath of the Wild, to me, I had not seen a launch title like of that magnitude in any console up until probably Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I'm so.
Gosh,
I'm
and
like
I
the biggest
just.
Zelda fan.
I just
ever.
started having time to actually sit. Like this past week, I sat and played so many hours of Breath of the Wild, and I was telling you, I was like blown away. Like the game is amazing. Like while I'm playing it, I was like, I can't believe people like sat down and freaking made this thing. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so,
As someone that's
so
like
good.
completed most of that game and bought the DLC and finished the DLC, and I have nothing else to do in that game now, I will find myself just running around the world, like doing, because
Like,
like,
'cause you
it's one of those
discover
games
new
that you can
things.
log as many hours as you possibly can and just like be a completionist. Like I'm done with this game, but then find some like cave or cavern and like find enemies inside of it, and then like seeing a new view of like a horizon, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not know about this
Yeah.
spot? And with the DLC, you can drop a load point so that you can go back to that space whenever you want.
Another thing that I loved about Breath of the Wild was the names for certain places, because a lot of the names were throwbacks to a bunch of their
Oh,
prior games. Like if you go off way to the, I believe the right side of the map, there's a small place called Tingle Island, which is quoting Wind Waker. There's in, I believe it's Zora's Domain. They have
Yeah.
what was it?
I
It was the Lake Healy? No, the Lake Healy is in the bottom right. But basically, they had a bunch of places, and even from Ocarina of Time, they had the racetrack where Epona was. Where if
Yeah.
you go to that spot, it's guarded by a guardian. There's a guardian there, and you get, once you take him out. But when you go there, you can like hear Epona's
Yes.
theme, and I
Yeah.
was like, that is so cool.
scary.
Wasn't it a long ranch?
Long
or-
Ranch.
Yeah, it was Long
And
Ranch.
if someone did like a side by side of
Comparison?
the
It's
actual
actually kind of sad because
Yeah.
it's like broken down, and like some of
Calamity
the
Ganon.
buildings are still there.
But
and kind of,
it was the Great Calamity.
yeah.
Which,
just
um,
destroyed everything.
Oh my god, it makes me love that game that much more, seeing all the past content still put into a new one, and like it playing the game takes you back to when you played the other Zelda games in this exploration, but also takes you back and like, oh my god, there's this. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is your mom to you?
Yes.
Yes, let's say
okay.
let's move
So
I prefer always say
Absent-
Nintendo.
I
but
know.
It just seems like a Nintendo.
it sucks because I'm as much as hate that Xbox gets. It sucks being let down. Because last year was kind of a letdown too. And this year,
No one cares
even
for
though
games.
they had one of their better E3 conferences that they've had in a long time, I'd say maybe 4 years, it was still a disappointment because we have the Xbox One X, which is this badass
4K.
system.
4K,
like, you know,
4K,
it's this,
4K.
as they
Minecraft.
said, what is it called?
4K.
Let's see what this monster can do.
Minecraft, watch out, Minecraft in 4K.
So yeah, they opened up
Yeah,
with this badass
exactly.
system, and then they're like, "Oh, here's Forza.
Oh yeah, and Forza.
Oh,
here's
and also,
here's 10 minutes of Forza."
this is also like
And-
a big internal conflict within their like engineering team and the people that develop the games. They say that they're working for the developers with that console.
Yeah, I've heard
There was a
that.
developer that was like, our game Sea of Thieves or some game, I don't know what game it was, but they're like,
Sea of Thieves?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like they were like, so this is Xbox One X, is it going to be in 4K? He's like, it'll be in 4K. He's like, it's going to be in 60 frames. Like, no, it's not going to be in
Maybe 30
60 frames.
frames.
It's going to be in 30 frames. Even when they said at the conference, like, all of our games that we're going to have the show floor are going to be running at 60 frames
And
4K.
because you're not able to pre-order the Xbox One X yet, it's because it's still being approved by some board. I forgot what it is, but some
wow.
board is still having to approve it so you can start doing pre-sales, and it's just like I don't know. It's
And is it even
upsetting.
worth
It's
it at the end of the
upsetting.
day? Like, Xbox One X, every game that's going to come out for the Xbox One X, they even said it's going to be compatible for Xbox One. And every Xbox One X accessory or anything that's going to be for Xbox One X can be backwards compatible for
Well,
Xbox
I know there's
One.
people who are buying 4K TVs and then buying the Xbox One X. I mean, really, what Destiny 2?
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't know. It's just, it's upsetting. And the only positive thing that came out of Microsoft's conference for me was Ori. Ori and the Blind Forest
yes.
2. Because that first game was so much fun. But what's sad about that is that's like an indie. It's what is it?
Indie developer?
It's an indie
Indie
developer.
ID at Xbox.
I was
Yeah.
thinking the developer's name. I think it's called Moon Studios.
Is it? Yeah.
It's Moon Studios, and it's, I don't know. What's sad is that's the most exciting game for me out of that conference, and it's an independent developer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of upsetting. So with that said, I just want to talk about how much Nintendo has grown over the last couple of years. Like, if you look back at the previous Nintendo conferences,
it's sad to think
Yes.
that
It's crazy.
they were literally filing for bankruptcy. They were on like the brink of
Yes.
collapse. Like they
Yeah.
had no one in that company knew. Satoru Iwata passed away. Like
Oh
we
my
were
God, I
all just
know.
like, what is like? We're
What's
sad. We're like, I
happening?
remember, and I was actually doing a video on this just to show how bad they were at. Like they were, the IGN was making like, or they were websites making like articles like, is Nintendo gonna, is it going to fail? Like, are we gonna have to like sell our stocks and just like, you know, say goodbye to such a
there was
great video
one
game company?
conference, I think it was a couple of years ago, where they were like mocking themselves.
Yeah.
They partnered with
Wow.
what was it, Adult Swim?
Yeah, they were making like
And they were making-
what is it? That show that
Little,
they do.
they were, yeah, it's this little show. Was it Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken.
They partnered with Robot Chicken, and they were just like they were just like
Yeah.
mocking themselves.
They were like, oh, another
And
Mario
it's
game?
like,
I was
oh
like,
yeah, another
oh,
Mario
gosh.
game, and
Like, they were
it's so
making-
it was sad, but it's like looking at them now, it's
They have
I'm
grown.
so proud.
I was gonna say, before the Switch, the last Nintendo system I genuinely loved was the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii, I couldn't get into it, and the same for the Wii U. But the first time I played the Switch, I actually was fortunate enough to play it before it was released. I got to play Breath of the Wild about 2 months before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember playing it and thinking like, okay, this is a step in the right direction. Yeah,
I hate him for
yeah,
that.
I got lucky and I got to play it. But I remember playing it and thinking like, this is. I can't give a full in-depth review on this, but this is definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it has. It's yeah. I'm good for them. I'm happy for them.
Okay, so we're kind of running out of time. So Jerry, who's the winner of E3?
Nintendo.
Well, we still have like about 10 minutes, but we're going to talk about
Yeah.
Spider-Man for a little bit. But give us like your wrap up. And
Nintendo, and I think that says a lot about just. I think someone was saying it's like a comment on the Xbox podcast on the Xbox event, but someone was like, Xbox, and then like dash what they would say. It was like Xbox has 4K, 60 frames, whatever teraflops of memory, 1 terabyte of solid state drive, and then they're like, and then it's like Nintendo just like, Mario can turn into a dinosaur, and we have a new Metroid game, and then the applause just like erupts, and that just shows you like graphics isn't everything.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it really
if
isn't.
you don't, I
I
think
know,
like
I lost my shit, dude. When
Yeah.
I saw Mars a T-Rex.
Dude,
yeah.
more of the T-Rex, the song, dude, the song got
Yeah.
me. The song gets me in such a good mood.
Yes.
Like I don't even care. I'll listen to
Yeah.
it. Like sometimes I'm in the car,
Yeah.
and it's just like a little happy, peppy
it's
song.
so, and you know the singer of that song is the mayor of New Donk City.
Actually, isn't it Pauline?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah,
They're bringing
so-
back Pauline.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who
Oh, wow.
Pauline was, man.
Oh,
The-
from
the-
Galaxy, right?
No.
No?
That's Rosalina.
Okay.
So Pauline is the original girl from Donkey Kong that Mario was
Oh yeah,
saving. Yeah, Princess Peach didn't come in until I believe was it 2 or 3? Super Mario was 2 or, no, first Super Mario Bros. But in Donkey
Super
Kong,
Mario World?
yes, no Super Mario Bros. I believe because it was
Okay.
Princess in Another Castle.
Okay.
Yeah, but Pauline was originally the girl that Mario was saving, and so to see her is as the mayor of New Donk City, and basically that little cameo, I like that a lot.
Well, also I think the music from the trailer was playing in. Okay, I love the music. I love that song. I think when I saw that trailer, I just kept listening to it. But then I kind of got sick of it because I would spend the whole days at the Nintendo booth. That song was blasting on loop, like on repeat. constantly in that booth. Like I was just like, okay.
So the reason everyone hates Frozen.
Yeah, so I was just like
Yeah.
that. But then when I got back, I was like, okay, I'll listen to it again now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they had. Oh, this is also something I didn't mention, but they had a live arms tournament with like I was watching it, and like the guy that got all the way to the end got to play against the creator of ARMS, like one of the lead developers.
And he beat him, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, the developer beat
the developer
okay.
beat
yeah.
the guy.
But
Yeah,
they still
the
gave
developer.
him like, you know,
Jerk.
he
Yeah.
still win. Like they gave him his award, and then they were like, "Would you like to like fight against the actual developer of the game?" So that was really cool. And then they
Really
also
cool.
did a Pokken tournament, an actual tournament up on the stage. But what was sad was that the stage was elevated by like a few stories, which is different from last year's E3 because you could like go up to their stage just like be held back by like. But no, this was like three stories up, so you just had to like look up, and then they would like there was no way you could like get up there.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Nintendo Treehouse. But
So
yeah.
you say Nintendo won?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo.
Oh, they had their booth was nice. The
Enjoying it
people
this
there were
year.
super nice. They gave out so much stuff, a lot more. They were giving out shirts. The
Yeah.
only way you could get a shirt was if you played all their games at their booth. So you had to get stamps. They would give you stamps on
Yes,
papers.
they did that at PAX
Yeah,
too.
it was
They gave out
super fun.
keychains, I believe.
Sony's people were very nice, but Nintendo's people. Oh, it's also worth mentioning every person that was at the Nintendo booth was dressed up like a character from the New Donk City, which was like the black the gray tux with and every girl had like a gray hat with the gray like work dress.
Yeah.
And like that was how all of them were dressed. They would like walk around with like New York accents.
Yeah,
It was
that's something they
awesome.
did last year too. All the they had all girls and they were all dressed up as
That's
Zelda.
the tunic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the tunic from
awesome.
Zelda. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So all right, so let's wrap up a little bit with E3
Yeah.
and let's talk about Spider-Man.
Yes.
So we all literally
So-
saw
wait, so
Spider-Man at
yes.
the same exact time.
The movie, not the game.
No,
No,
let's talk
the
about the
movie.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
the Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Oh, the
old.
game looked good too.
Yeah, the
It
game
looked
looks
great.
great.
Yeah.
The movie I did enjoy a lot. Michael Keaton, I think, did a good job as Vulture. I'm glad that they made Vulture look good because the only times I would see Vulture is I never liked his costume. I'm like, how are they gonna make this?
A live action vulture.
Yeah, I thought how would they do it, and they pulled it off really well.
Yeah.
We'll say
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
I know. I will say I liked how they really humanized him. I always appreciate a movie when it's when you have a villain you can kind of relate to.
Yeah.
And you kind of not you side with them, but you can see why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job about doing that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mike Keaton's a phenomenal actor. When I heard he was going to be the Vulture, I was on board. I was like, oh my god, yes! I really thought Birdman.
And it was funny because
Yeah.
we had just finished
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
Birdman.
so I
and
just
was
loved him
like,
so much
that's
more.
a-
I was
yeah,
like, yes.
that's
Yeah.
ironic.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
I will say, I mean, in our lifetime, this is what the third time we've seen Spider-Man
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
I probably disagree with me, but I think Tobey Maguire was the worst one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I mean, a lot of people, love him. I think they're.
I'd say he was my least favorite.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like the worst. I don't think he did a bad job.
He didn't.
But I feel like that movie's kind of aged.
They have. They've aged.
So-
I think they've aged. They really
They've
have
aged
aged.
like milk.
You
I
know,
know.
I
Pretty
did.
bad.
My thing with Andrew Garfield is he seemed a little too much of like a pretty boy, and I think that bothered me a little bit. Like he always had his hair like super
Oh,
nice,
I know. I was like,
and he was
tough.
always like dressed, like he had like this style to him, and I was like, I don't know. In my mind, you think Spider-Man. I mean, I'm not too familiar with like the comics, but I think like nerd. You think of like it.
I think he
don't
played
know.
a better.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah, I think he
I
played a
liked-
better Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
To me,
than Maguire.
what stood out more to me was he was like, had his quips. He would like,
Yeah.
he would joke around with. He was full with his opponent.
Yeah, his opponent.
And that's something the Tobey Maguire or Sam Raimi Spider-Man failed to capture. Which
Yeah.
that's a big part of Spider-Man. I remember even a few friends saying like. They weren't used to that. Like, why does he do that? I don't like that he does that. Like, no, that is Spider-Man.
Yeah, that is
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
does that.
Yeah, to people who just kind of watch the movies, they see a different point of view. Whereas, people us who read the
Yeah.
comics, were like, no, it should be done this way.
Yeah.
I will say, I am glad we did not get another
Origin.
backstory with Uncle Ben dying for the
Oh,
third time
nobody
because
cares.
Jesus Christ.
We
No
know
one
what
cares.
happened.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
Good
dead.
thing he's dead.
He's going. Like, I was just waiting for Uncle Ben to walk in. Like, oh, can't wait for him to die. Yeah.
And like Peter, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Uncle
we
Ben.
know.
We know.
Do you think I'm gonna go down to the shady supermarket?
Yeah.
No, it's the storyline just changed up a bit. I think Spider-Man had its pros and cons definitely. I think the last one was a bit convoluted, and I mean had too much going on. But I did like that they were going along with the comic storyline.
Yeah.
I did want to see more of that. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that anymore. But I will say I want to see where this goes. They have their own twist to it, but I mean we'll see.
I do want to continue with this, but I do want to also mention that they're making that Venom movie, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I personally I've heard of it, but I mean I have no idea if it's going to be canon to Spider-Man.
See, the thing about it is that they're making his villain Carnage. And Carnage I've wanted for so long to be in a Spider-Man movie. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be more badass to see, because in the comics, Spider-Man and Venom team up to take out Carnage. I think that'd be a lot more badass to see.
Yeah.
It's it'd make a good story, because it's like, oh, Venom, one of his arch enemies, like he's that desperate.
Yeah.
We need to team up
Like,
to take this.
Carnage
This
is
guy
a
is the ultimate
badass.
evil.
He's a badass, which is why I've always wanted to see him on screen because he's just such a badass. Where Spider-Man and Venom have to team up in order to take him out, and it's just I wanted to see that brought to light. And so to make this Venom movie and have Carnage as a villain, I'm a bit worried because again, like I want to see that. I want to see Spider-Man and Venom. Venom get to the point where he's like, I can't do this, and I have to go to my arch enemy for help. I would love to see that, but I don't know if they're gonna do it with Venom.
Did they already cast Venom? Is it Tom? I
heard Tom
rumored
Hardy.
that it was Tom Hardy,
I heard Tom-
and I'm like totally cool with that. I think he'd be.
I heard that. I heard it's gonna be rated R.
Oh, I would.
So that's
mind.
Rated
Yes.
R Marvel movie?
Cool, because now they're a hit, dude. I mean, ever since Deadpool.
Yeah.
And Logan was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I loved
it was
Logan.
good.
That's sort of that movie is like one of my favorite.
It was such a good close.
my favorite movie of the
for
year.
Yeah.
The Wolverine.
Yeah, it was nice. Just a nice little like way to wrap it up. It would have been nice to see him go into spoiler alert if you hadn't seen it. Yeah, he dies, but
But if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
You should have
Yeah.
watched it
People
already.
said that they caught him by surprise, and they were
It got
in
me by
tears.
surprise.
I was already like, look at him. He's gonna die.
I
think
wanted
we
him to
knew
ride off
he
into the
was gonna
sunset.
die.
Yeah.
I wanted to run over to someone
But
and
that
say, no
was
more
that-
guns in the valley.
As soon as I saw those bullets like come off too
Yeah.
painfully, and he was just like crying, I was like, this guy's gonna die.
I feel like I knew he was gonna die, but a part of me was like, "Come on,
You don't
come
want
Yeah,
him to
on,
die,
come on,
yeah.
you're
don't,
Wolverine.
you
pull
can't do
through.
it."
No, because I hated it because Patrick Stewart caught me off guard.
Dude, I know.
God.
It breaks your heart twice.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
that caught me off guard. And then I'm like, come on, like, since you already spoiled it, I'm like, come on, he's got to live, man. Come on, don't do this to me. And then, and I'm like, come on.
But if that one hit me more than I don't remember feeling it that much in X-Men 3 when Professor X dies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, this one, oh my god, dude, I was like, no, I remember like it happening, I was like, no, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well, I think the reason for that is because in X-Men 3, it was more of a sacrificial thing where, like,
Yeah.
he knew it was going to happen, so he gave up himself.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it was completely unexpected.
Well,
Yeah.
this one too, he's kind of like suffering throughout the movie, and you have to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
suffer with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he
and
has
that's hard.
that weight on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, he has that, they have him under medication.
Yeah.
He forgets. And now I'm forgetting the name for it, which
Yeah.
is
He has like
ironic.
dementia, right?
Yeah.
And
so,
because he can't control
yeah.
his powers. so
I
like,
loved, and it was very painful for him, but I loved the scenes where he would like have a stroke or something, and the time he would stop everyone from
Yeah.
doing
Oh, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
That one scene where they were in Vegas, right? Is
Yeah.
that where it was?
Yeah.
And everyone just like that was in the cars just like stopped, and then the cars like crashed into each other, and like there was like explosions going off, and he
Yeah.
was just like trying to like get him to
Yeah,
calm down.
that was an awesome scene.
That was an awesome
we're,
scene.
we're getting off Spider-Man.
I know, we did.
I know.
We completely
I know.
got off Spider-Man.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I feel like we gave ourselves time to like get off topic with things because we knew we were gonna get off topic with things.
Yeah.
But okay, so I guess let's talk a little bit about the giveaway, right?
Okay, yeah, you know what, yeah. In honor for our, for our new channel, we're gonna do a raffle. Give one of these away. This is a Frostwrite Scarlet Solo. We're using the bigger, beefier version to power up our mic. So if you like the sound coming out of this, what we have, you're gonna love this thing. So basically, it's you plug your mic up to this. You plug up a guitar to it. Plug it up to your computer. You can podcast, make music. You guys are artists. You know what to do. Mm-hmm. So we are going to raffle this off to the first 100 subscribers. So if you're watching, hit that like button and subscribe button. And as soon as we hit 100, we will start raffling it off.
Yeah. I think we'll do this one just to YouTube, right? And then we'll go ahead.
Yeah,
We'll probably come up with something else for Facebook for the first 100 likes, followers. I think Facebook
I think
has
what
followers
we'll do is
too,
like
right?
followers
We'll do that.
and YouTube and iTunes combined. As soon as that reaches 100, then from those 100 people, we'll scramble and pick one.
Well, I think we should do a different one if we do social media.
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah.
Just because if we're doing this for our first 100 subscribers on YouTube,
and
so we should stick.
Oh.
to that.
Yeah, so YouTube.
We'll probably
For
do a
YouTube.
separate one for Facebook.
Yeah.
I think.
And I
Yeah.
think it's worthwhile to say we're not being sponsored by.
Oh no!
I wish we were being sponsored by Scarlet.
We're just starting
Yeah,
out, guys.
I got in a little bundle. I didn't need it, so I'm like, you know what? Let's give it to some lucky,
and it's
lucky
nice.
subscriber.
Yeah, I mean, we use the
it's-
bigger
yeah.
version of it, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
super simple to figure out and use.
I was telling you, I think earlier yesterday, they had some of these not telling you this morning, they had these portable for
Mixers,
podcasts,
yeah.
mixers for podcasts at E3. They'd have people like sitting down at tables doing podcasts with like little mixers and stuff. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. Back then you wouldn't be able to bring an entire mixer like we have and stuff. So.
Yep. It's so easy.
Pretty great.
Cool.
But I guess that pretty much wraps it up
We're
then,
wrapping it up.
We'll wrap it up. All right, cool.
We're also going to be doing other podcasts.
Yes.
They might join. I'm not too familiar with it, but I will try to be doing podcasts for anime. I'm a huge anime fan. Anime reviews. I'll probably bring up some of my anime friends.
Yeah, I would
He's
love
an
to.
anime
I would
fan
love
too,
to talk
so
about
you
some
guys
anime.
would
Okay,
probably-
we got Jerry on board.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also want to. I want to
people.
rip Netflix's Death Note.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Okay,
God.
no, we're saving that for
saving
our
that.
podcast.
Yes.
Because
Let's save it.
we're saving that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I can
We'll
go
be
on
here
for an
for-
hour.
Yeah,
we'll be
I
here
think
for the
whole
whole
that
podcast
podcast
for
will
that.
solely be Death Note.
Yes, as someone that's completed the anime.
We should do like a reaction.
Yeah.
You guys should do a reaction
Okay.
to you guys watching
So,
it.
here's
I'll
the
break
thing.
the monitor.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, okay.
I had never seen Death Note prior. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah,
He has no prior knowledge
Okay.
of Death Note, so I know for sure we're gonna watch the Netflix series. I'm probably gonna be very upset because I saw another teaser for it that my friend shared, and I hated every second of it. He has no view on Death Note. He only knows kind of what it is, but he's never seen it, and so he's gonna go in with a blind eye. I'm gonna go in with the fan base eye, and
And I'll go with the expert eye.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's watched all the
I really
anime.
am.
So.
We'll go through a blind eye.
Alright.
But yeah, we're going to wrap it up. We're running out of time.
Yeah, thanks so much. If you guys
Thank you.
made it this far and listened to the whole thing, thanks. And we'll probably be back in another 2 weeks, right? That's what we're planning.
Bi-weekly.
We're planning to do bi-weekly. So, yeah, thanks for watching.